Remember those dreams of retirement? Endless days of leisure. Finally having time for all the things you put off. A chance to truly slow down and breathe. For so many of us, that's the picture we paint. But then, retirement arrives, and for an astonishing number of people, that leisurely pace never materializes. Instead, it transforms into a dizzying whirlwind of commitments, a packed calendar that rivals, or even surpasses, the busiest working years. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we fill every waking moment with activity, even when we no longer have to? It's almost as if we're afraid to slow down, afraid of what might happen if we just stop. And ironically, this relentless pursuit of busyness, this feeling that we always need to be productive and engaged, might actually be quietly working against us. It could be chipping away at the very health, peace, and longevity we longed for when we first envisioned our golden years. It's a surprising, almost counterintuitive truth. But for many, a jam-packed post-retirement schedule isn't the key to a long, happy life. It might, in fact, be slowly draining your vitality and peace of mind. In this video, we're going to uncover several surprising ways that constant busyness can impact your well-being, from your energy levels to your peace of mind, and most importantly, how to reclaim your true retirement. Make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I've got something to share that might just completely change how you view your golden years, offering a new perspective that could lead to profound personal liberation. Now, let's dive right into why this seemingly positive commitment to a full calendar can actually be a silent threat to your well-being. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking that, as long as we're not working, everything we do is automatically rest or leisure. But the truth is, even enjoyable activities, when piled one on top of another without sufficient breaks, can create an invisible stress load that gradually wears us down. Think about it: waking up, rushing off to that early morning exercise class, then heading straight to a volunteer meeting, followed by lunch with friends, and then maybe an afternoon of running errands or looking after grandchildren. Each individual activity might be pleasant, even fulfilling. But the sheer volume and constant shifting from one commitment to another can accumulate into a kind of low-grade chronic stress. Your body and mind don't differentiate between work stress and leisure stress if the pace is relentless. Cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, doesn't care if you're stuck in traffic on the way to work or rushing to make it to a grandchild's school play on time. If you're constantly feeling a sense of urgency, obligation, or the need to keep up, that internal stress response is triggered. Over time, elevated cortisol levels can contribute to a host of health issues, from disrupted sleep patterns and weight gain to a weakened immune system and even issues with memory and focus. You might feel perpetually tired, even after a full night's sleep, or find yourself snapping at loved ones more easily than you used to. These aren't necessarily signs of aging. They can be subtle indicators that your system is overloaded from too much activity. Even if it's all good activity, the constant pressure to be on, to be engaged, to perform socially, even in retirement, can be just as exhausting as a demanding job, sometimes even more so, because you might feel guilty about wanting to slow down. There's an expectation, often self-imposed, that now that you have all this free time, you should be making the most of every minute, filling it with enriching experiences. But this relentless pursuit of enrichment can ironically deplete you. This constant low-level hum of activity, without adequate periods of genuine rest, often leads us to overlook something absolutely crucial for our long-term health and vitality: true rest and recovery. We often confuse not working with truly resting. If your days are filled with social engagements, travel, hobbies, and family commitments, when do you actually get to do nothing? When do you simply sit and let your mind wander? Our bodies and minds need downtime to repair, process, and simply be. This isn't just about getting enough sleep at night. It's about incorporating moments of quietude and stillness throughout your day. Imagine a car that's constantly running, never turned off, always on the go. Eventually, it's going to break down. Our human bodies and minds are no different. They need periods of idle time, moments to cool down, to process the day's input, and to truly regenerate. This could be simply sitting in your garden, listening to the birds, without a specific task in mind. It might mean curling up with a book that demands nothing of you but simple enjoyment, not one you feel obligated to finish or learn from. Perhaps it's just staring out the window, letting your thoughts drift. These moments of unstructured, non-productive being are vital for cognitive function, emotional regulation, and physical recovery. Without them, you might experience what feels like mental fog, difficulty concentrating, or a persistent feeling of being on edge. You might find yourself forgetting things more often or feeling overwhelmed by seemingly small decisions. These aren't necessarily inevitable parts of aging. They can be direct consequences of a lifestyle that neglects the profound necessity of genuine rest, leaving no room for your internal systems to reset and rejuvenate. The body's repair mechanisms, immune system functions, and even digestive processes are optimized during periods of rest. Constantly pushing yourself, even with enjoyable activities, means these vital functions are always playing catch-up, eventually leading to a subtle but significant decline in overall well-being. It's about creating space in your life, not just filling it. This constant push, this filling of every available moment, also profoundly impacts the erosion of deep connection and reflection. When you're always on the move, rushing from one obligation to the next, even if those obligations are social ones, your interactions can become superficial. You might be seeing many people, but are you truly connecting with them? Is there enough time for those lingering conversations, the ones where you delve deep into shared experiences, offer true support, and feel genuinely understood? Or are your social interactions largely defined by brief catch-ups, polite exchanges, and adherence to a schedule? The irony is, many of us seek retirement for more time with loved ones. Yet, constant busyness can lead to less quality time, reducing meaningful connections to fleeting encounters. It's not just about others. It's about yourself, too. When do you have time for self-reflection? When do you sit quietly with your thoughts, process your emotions, or contemplate the deeper meanings of your life and experiences? These moments of quiet introspection are crucial for emotional health, for understanding your own evolving sense of purpose, and for cultivating inner peace. Without them, you might feel a lingering sense of disconnectedness, a subtle unease that something is missing, even though your calendar is full. It's as if you're living on the surface of your life, never quite diving into its deeper currents. This lack of deep personal reflection can lead to a sense of unfulfillment, a feeling that despite all the activity, you're not truly growing or engaging with your authentic self. You might find yourself easily distracted, unable to focus on any one thing for long, or feeling restless even when you have a moment to yourself. This isn't just about being busy. It's about being perpetually externally focused, leaving little room for the internal cultivation of wisdom and contentment, beyond the mental and emotional toll. There's also the physical wear and tear that often goes unrecognized. Many people correctly assume that activity is good, and it is movement. Exercise and staying active are absolutely vital for healthy aging. But there's a fine line between healthy activity and chronic overexertion. Even if that overexertion comes from enjoyable pursuits, when you're constantly on the go, even if it's light physical activity like gardening, walking, or engaging in various hobbies, you're still putting demands on your body. Your joints, muscles, and cardiovascular system need time to recover. If you're always pushing, always moving from one physical task to another without sufficient rest, you can prevent your body from fully recuperating. You might notice persistent aches and pains that don't seem to go away, feeling consistently stiff, or experiencing a general sense of fatigue that sleep doesn't seem to resolve. These can be subtle signs that your body is not getting the recovery time it needs. The body repairs itself, rebuilds muscle, and reduces inflammation most effectively during periods of true rest, not just during lighter forms of activity. Over time, this chronic subtle physical stress can contribute to accelerated joint wear, muscle imbalances, and even a compromised immune system, making you more susceptible to illness. It's not about becoming sedentary. Far from it. It's about listening deeply to your body's signals, acknowledging its need for true downtime, and integrating periods of genuine, restorative rest into your active lifestyle. Pushing through fatigue, telling yourself you should be doing more, can be incredibly detrimental. Your retirement should be a period of sustainable vitality, not a race to see how much you can cram in before you burn out. It's about finding a rhythm that truly supports your longevity, not one that subtly chips away at your physical resilience, leaving you feeling more worn down than invigorated. The physical effects might seem minor at first, a little more stiffness, a bit less stamina, but over months and years, they accumulate, potentially leading to chronic issues that could have been avoided with a more balanced approach to activity and rest. Finally, let's talk about the subtle but powerful pressure to perform and the potential loss of your authentic self in retirement. After a lifetime of schedules, deadlines, and often a career that defined a significant part of your identity, there's often an internal or even external pressure to fill the void that work once occupied with doing. We feel a need to demonstrate that we are still productive, still relevant, still engaged. This can lead to a kind of anxiety about being unproductive or lazy. If you're not constantly engaged in some activity, you might feel compelled to say yes to every invitation, join every club, or take on every volunteer role, not because it genuinely excites you, but because it fills time and validates your perceived worth. This pressure can strip away the true freedom that retirement is supposed to offer. The most profound gift of retirement is the freedom not to do, if you choose. The freedom to define your days on your own terms, without external obligation or internal guilt. When you're constantly busy, you might lose touch with who you are. Without a schedule, without a role to play, who are you when you're simply being? This can be a scary question for many, leading them to pile on activities to avoid facing it. But this constant external focus can prevent you from truly discovering or rediscovering your authentic self, the person you are beyond your accomplishments and commitments. It can lead to a feeling of being constantly driven by external forces rather than guided by your inner desires and needs. This loss of authentic self can manifest as a vague sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is missing despite a full life, because you're not living in alignment with your deepest desires. True freedom in retirement is the freedom to embrace stillness, to cultivate interests for pure joy rather than obligation, and to simply exist without the need for constant validation through activity. It's about finding your own natural rhythm, not one dictated by societal expectations of what a successful retirement should look like. It's in slowing down that you truly have the opportunity to reconnect with who you are and what genuinely brings you joy, allowing you to live a retirement that feels deeply fulfilling, not just busily occupied. These aspects of an overscheduled retirement really highlight a profound shift that needs to happen in our thinking about this precious phase of life. So, as we've explored, that seemingly harmless packed calendar in retirement, while often well-intentioned, can slowly and subtly chip away at your vitality. We've seen how relentless busyness, even with enjoyable activities, can create an invisible stress load that impacts your physical and mental health. We've talked about how it prevents true rest and recovery, leaving your body and mind constantly playing catch-up. We've discussed how it can erode deep, meaningful connections and precious time for self-reflection, making you feel superficially busy but internally unfulfilled. And we've touched on the constant physical wear and tear that can go unnoticed, along with the immense pressure to perform that can prevent you from truly embracing your authentic self and the boundless freedom retirement offers. But here's the truly beautiful part, and it's a message of immense hope you have the power to redefine your retirement. It's not about doing nothing. Far from it. It's about consciously choosing to do what truly nourishes you, mind, body, and soul, rather than what simply fills your time or meets an external expectation. It's about embracing white space in your calendar, learning the liberating power of saying no to things that don't truly light you up, and prioritizing moments of genuine stillness and quiet purpose over perpetual motion. Imagine waking up and letting the day unfold naturally, rather than immediately consulting a jam-packed schedule. Imagine truly savoring a cup of tea, noticing the sunlight streaming through the window, without feeling the urgent need to move on to the next task. This shift in perspective, this reclaiming of your time and your inner peace, can be the most transformative step you take. It's about actively listening to your body's subtle cues for rest, not pushing through fatigue just because you have an opening in your schedule. It's about seeking out connections that nourish your spirit, allowing for deep, unhurried conversations, rather than just ticking off social engagements. And it's about giving yourself permission to just be, to embrace the simple joys of existence without the constant pressure to be productive or entertained. And this leads me to the surprise I promised you at the beginning. It's not a secret tip or a magical supplement. The surprising truth is that the most radical, life-affirming, and indeed, life-extending thing you can do in retirement isn't to fill every moment, but to intentionally carve out moments of true stillness, quiet contemplation, and unburdened being. The surprise is that less can truly be more. It's in these moments of conscious slowing down, in embracing the quiet spaces, that you truly reclaim your life. This isn't about being lazy. It's about being profoundly wise. It allows your body to heal deeply, your mind to wander creatively, your spirit to reconnect with its deepest desires, and your energy to truly regenerate. It's a redefinition of what success in retirement looks like, shifting from a measure of activity to a measure of peace, joy, and profound well-being. It's about building a retirement that supports your longevity and happiness, rather than subtly undermining it. I'd truly love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you found yourself falling into the trap of overbusyness in retirement? What strategies have you used to find more balance and peace in your own life? What does true rest look like for you? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your wisdom can be incredibly valuable to others in our community. If this video resonated with you, if it gave you something to think about, or inspired you to make a small change, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who could benefit from this message. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos designed to help you live your best life at every age. Remember, retirement is your time to bloom, not to burn out. Embrace the gentle rhythm of your own well-being. Live your best life, vibrant and free, at every beautiful age.